So it just came back from a special President's Day screening for the movie Get Out. Now, being that it's President's Day, I could assume this movie might have been about a couple of anti-Trump rallies trying to get him out of the White House. But it's not. This movie is actually the newest psychological thriller / horror movie from Blumhouse Productions. Of course, they're the top of the heap when it comes to psychological thrillers and horror movies these days, with obviously The Conjuring, Insidious, The Gift, and most recently Split. So does Get Out meet those expectations? Let's talk about it. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Road Mentor, where my goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience. So Get Out, of course, off the bat, let me say this is not really a horror movie. I know it's kind of being discussed that way. This is more of a psychological thriller with some horror elements to it. Now, what's most interesting when I was going into this movie is that I found out this was written and directed by Jordan Peele, who you might guys are familiar with him. He primarily just does comedy. Obviously, he with his partner Key and Peele from the Nickelodeon series. He's done Mad TV. He's done obviously Robot Chicken. I believe he's done some episodes of that. But that's all he's done. Last year they had the movie Keanu about the ridiculous, stupid movie about the cat, which was dumb, but it was kind of funny. So it was surprising to see that he actually went total on the other side of the spectrum with this movie. This is definitely outside his wheelhouse. And let me say, he knocked it out of the park. This is almost like Bill Belichick taking the Knicks to the playoffs. And I hate Bill Belichick too, but it was a good reference to use. But it was really surprising how much I really enjoyed this movie. It's gotten a lot of praise early on from the early screenings from the festivals late last year and early this year. And for good reason. This is a really solid movie all around. Stars Allison Williamson, I believe her name is, playing the character Rose, and her boyfriend Chris, played by Daniel Kaluuya. Of course, they're about 4 or 5 months into a relationship, and it's about that time when it's time to meet her parents. As nerve-wracking as it is, guys, you know what I'm talking about. But for Chris, it's obviously a little bit different because obviously he's black. There's an interracial relationship, and she hasn't told the parents that he is black. So he's concerned about that, how they're going to react, which is a normal reaction. Now, at first, they go to meet the parents. Everybody seems nice, and it's a nice, beautiful home. They're very well off. They have servants and all that. And everything seems on the up and up, but things get a little strange. He starts noticing people's behaviors and mannerisms, and there's a lot of creepy shit going on, and is really playing with his head. And that's all about, I'll tell you about the plot of the movie, not because you really should go in there pretty clean as far as how this all unravels. And kudos to Jordan Peele, who did a great job directing this flick. It's very cleverly written, and he is known for humor, and there is a lot of humor in here, but it's well placed. Good moments of levity, primarily from Chris's best friend, who tries to help him out, figure out what's going on and his situation. And that came off really, really well. It was actually very, very funny. But don't make no mistake, this is not a comedy by any stretch of the imagination. This is a good psychological thriller. Obviously it unravels at a good pace. Peele does a good job of not giving you too much at any given point. You think you figure things out, and then it ends up being something a little bit different. Very creative as far as what the overall story is and what's happened to this guy, Chris, and what he's seeing in his family, and he tries to put the pieces together, why people are acting the way they are. But beyond that, there's a lot of social commentary and relevancy here that kind of elevates the movie more than just your basic psychological thriller, which I think is very interesting, especially in these days of social consciousness. Peele does a good job of injecting that in there without really hammering it or making it too on the nose. It's very subtle and very well written. What Peele also does well is to create that mood, create that tension. He really builds it well. You really don't know what's going on. Things are real creepy. A lot of good acting here as far as what's going on, and it really kind of keeps you guessing throughout. So it makes this movie very interesting. If you guys are into the genre, I can't recommend this movie enough. Great job by Peele, and the super surprised he's able to give us that, giving his prior resume. Guys, this is a movie you guys should definitely watch. If you guys like Split, this is more along those lines. In terms, again, it's not a horror movie, But again, one worth definitely checking out. Good counter programming to what, particularly what's been released recently with the action movie John Wick and Lego and all that. We got Logan coming up next week. So this is the kind of movie is a little bit different from anything else that's out there right now. I recommend you guys to go check it out. If you guys do see it, let me know what you guys think. Comment below as always. And of course, don't forget to subscribe below and feed my need to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. And of course, I'll see you next time.